Hey there, guys, and welcome back. So, if you were just watching the Fume Extractor video, which we aired live just prior to this, then you know that I am basically winging this session off the top of my head. So, basically, the story here is, let me adjust my microphone really quick. Sorry, I meant to do that before we started because it drifted a little bit on me. So, last section, we were wrapping up Fort Vallis. My expectation was that the party was bored of Fort Vallis, which was the case in the previous session, and therefore they were just going to split. That was my expectation. They also were pretty, they weren't in great shape. They ended up stumbling on the Aboleth then. And, So the Aboleth was designed for 9th level characters. As you will recall, my players lied to me and said they were 6th level. The Aboleth, I figured, if they were at full health when they fought it, they might be able to take it because there were 5 of them. And they were a pretty meaty group. It's 3 fighters, and they're all fighters that have pretty decent traits, like they play off each other. And then they also have a rogue, and rogue sneak attack is broken. So I figured there was a decent chance. The players ended up running from it, and I was 100% A-okay with that. And unfortunately, one of the players decided to play play rear guard. And while everybody else was running away once they got out of the water, because as you may recall, in Fort Vallis, we had a little cave on the bottom left-hand side here, was the place where the Aboleth came out. And then the whole entire place flooded. So once they got out of the water, they were more or less home clear. But one of the characters decided to play rear guard and make sure nobody else got caught, at which point he got mind controlled. Now, I made a little bit of a mistake DMing, and basically the character got knocked unconscious. During those rounds he was unconscious. There were 2 rounds where I skipped half of the party, which had decided to run away. The players told me, when I did come back to them, that the second that they had gotten to the top of the stairs, they had turned around. Because, the one player did. And then the other players followed suit. And it's one of those things that should have happened 2 rounds earlier. Unfortunately, because it didn't happen 2 rounds earlier, the player who played rearguard ended up dying. He did get rescued by one of the other characters. It was actually a character I was NPCing because the player had to leave early. But technically speaking, that character should not be dead. However, that being the case, that being everything that happened, the players ended up leaving Vallis with basically nothing in their bag, with the exception of the blood of one of the super soldier prototypes. The monk, the newest character, the player that I thought was going to be playing with us from the beginning and never showed back up. It looks like I'm peaking a lot today for some reason, so I'm going to turn myself down a little bit. So anyway, the player that I had expected to be playing from the beginning finally showed back up. Evidently, he was not getting Discord messages. Okay. So, anyway, he was now part of the party, and he did the intelligent thing and tried looking around, and at the very least came up with the idea of getting super soldier serum, basically, out of the blood. He doesn't know. It's one of those things. None of the characters actually know at this point that that these are super soldiers. They have identified that these are definitely weird creatures, but they don't know that they have specific purposes or anything. They could be a disease, could be any number of things. So that is where we're at. The players need to solve their problems, which I was just going to have taken care of by their benefactors. Their benefactors is a mysterious organization, in case you do not recall me talking about this in an earlier stream. And that organization seems to be government-based, maybe, possibly, but is very secretive. But, it's one of those things. The player, the character, at this point, the organization has sunk so many funds into this that I'm going to have the organization solve the player's problems, the most pressing of which is that 2 of the characters got the Aboleth curse on them, which means that they start dying if they're away from Witter. So, again, that can be fixed. It's one of those things. They more or less came up with this temporary solution, and that's good enough for me as a DM. Okay, they thought hard and came up with the temporary solution, and okay, now I will go ahead and remove the curse, because the curse was only there just to be an annoyance. It's not there for long-term purposes, in my opinion. So, we'll get rid of the curse, and we can move on. Now, in the 2 or 3 minutes that I had sitting down at my desk before stream here, after getting my coffee after the previous stream, my quick brainstorm on where to go with this, because again, the only thing we have at this point is Super Soldier Blood Serum stuff, is possibly a mausoleum is my idea. That's the idea I came up with, and I'm coming off that. So we start off with Grey Orcs is what we start off with. That was my base template, and then we had these Grey Elves. Now it's not my intention, and it's not going to be that these are actually undead super soldiers. They are going to be completely alive and all that, and they were never dead at any point. However, I want to leave that up to the players to try to figure out, and therefore if I put them in a mausoleum, if this happens to be a cover for gathering super soldiers, like faking people's death and then experimenting on them and stuff like that, if we use that as the premise, then maybe the characters get misled. Maybe this is a red herring and they think that the super soldiers are actually undead. I think that's an interesting idea. So, not only that, but the other point being is that since they're gray, they look undead. They're gray and they're very odd looking, etc. So, that was the idea I'm running with at the moment. So, we are going to make a cave system in this design. And it's one of these things where we do have a rogue at this point in the party, so I can put traps and secret doors in pretty much willy-nilly, and I can just blame the rogue if they don't find them and they die. So that is the plan for today's session, and the point is that at the end of the mausoleum tunnel system through secret hidden doors, etc., eventually they find the lab where all the experimentation is going down. At that point, they can find something that they can probably find paperwork, is what I'm thinking, that links it back to the guild. And then once they find evidence at the guild or something like that, then they can use that evidence to go after the guild master / noble. And again, as I mentioned in a previous stream, that was the final what do you call it, not session, but final adventure segment module thing, was raiding the Lord's Manor and fighting a whole bunch of, actual trained soldiers and sorcerers and whatnot. So that is the game plan for today that I've thrown together very quickly, because again, I've been working on obviously other stuff and totally forgot to work on D&D stuff. So here we go. The other thing that I've found out from using Dungeon Scroll last time, sorry if I'm a little bit stuffy, it's one of those things turning into fall now, and I think allergies might be kicking up, but frankly could be anything. So point being is that what I found out last time, and really quick, this last I checked was the thing that lagged me a whole bunch last time I used it. So it's one of those things. This is very useful for cave systems, so I'm gonna go attempt to use it, but if we start lagging, I'll have to bail on this one. Okay, now for the third time, what I found out using Dungeon Scroll last time we used it to design is that when I exported, it actually expects all the layers to be of the same exact size and shape. So that was fine for the first, second, and third floor of the guild, because it was a building that went straight up in the air, right? And therefore, these hash marks let me just make this really quick. So the hash marks and this darker area around the outside, that all stuff ended up on their own layers, exporting to a multi-layer. Let's open this up really quick. Export. All right, good. You can see this. So layers download is what I selected. That ended up being the same for all the other stuff, which means that in future, if this dungeon ends up being 2 layers, I'm either going to want to do something like this where I do layer number 2 over here, or let me try to end this really quick. Double click. All right, there we go. Or if I don't do this, I got to make a new level because, again, all these extra shading and hash marks and whatnot actually end up on a single on all the layers. So, effectively. And therefore, I had to go through extra effort to get it exported. Point being. So, that is where we're at with everything. You are now caught up. Congratulations. All right, give me half a second to clear my nose really quick because this is starting to get annoying. Also, while we start drawing here, in case you did not notice, you may not recognize the music. A few things to say about that. One, I really quick before the theme extractor thing went ahead and downloaded some more music, which I've been meaning to do for a while now, and that was good. I did not get as much I wanted to. I only ended up with like maybe 10 songs out of the first 2 pages. Unfortunately, just songs that I'd be willing to suffer through. The other thing to note is that I recalled that I had more music on my in my library here of streamable, like able to use on stream music, and I forgot that our recent playlist that I've been using for a long time now, I was using that playlist specifically because it was the quote-unquote cinematic stuff, so the more ambient stuff. I forgot I had other stuff like what we're listening to right now, which is more, computer generated synth. Yeah, more synth and R&B stuff. I forgot I had more of that stuff on my computer, and I just had not been using it because I was going with the other theme. So one of those things. I've been complaining about music for a while now, variety of music, and that is by and large my fault, as it turns out. So, whoops, my bad. Let's see, toss this on here. Just kind of freehanding right now. Don't have many plans. Again, we're just spitballing this off the top of my head right now, so just getting it down on paper just as things come to me. This over here, let me get my DM layer. Rename, where's the rename button? Down here? Yeah, there we go. DM notes. There we go. Add text. This I'm thinking is going to just be a what do you call it? A room of sarcophaguses, morgue type deal. Less of a morgue and more of just a communal burying space. Now, again, I want to mislead the players a little bit here into thinking that the super soldiers are actually undead, so I will be using mostly undead in this encounter, which will be pretty interesting because communal burial ground area. It will be interesting because one of my players actually did. I can't recall if I mentioned this on stream. He ended up making a. Yeah, I did mention this on stream. He made a zombie character. So we will see how he deals with this situation. Will be interesting. Let's see. Do we want to do zombies in here, or do I want to save the zombies for later? Start them off with some... Oh, space. That's right. Start the zombie player off with some skeletons. That way he doesn't have to think too hard about it. Unless he really wants to roleplay that. And then save the zombies for later on. Rubble. Add. Rubble. Let us get another image layer on. And let's see. I think there was some in here. Rubble. Yeah, I don't... Okay, there we are. There we go. Doink, doink. Doink, doink, doink. Again, would be nice if it randomly rotated. But, whatever. Cool. Anything else I want to think about now? No. Whoops. Come over here, please. Thank y'all. So, let's see. So, looking at this, frankly, this is a bit larger than I wanted to do for this level. It occurs to me. So, there is erase. Okay. Let's see how hard it is to erase these guys. Yeah, actually that is fine. Alright, cool. Whoops. Escape. Turn this back to draw. I actually was going to fix that. There we go. Alright, cool. Pretty sure that fixed. It might be a little bit ugly, but regardless. Yeah, I wanted to keep this level a little bit low and then have another level that the players have to find. Which, let's see. I actually kind of like the idea of it being here. This is kind of a weird place for it to be. So let's put it here. And toss a wall in. I believe that's the wall line. Okay, that does something weird. Is that not the wall line? Oh, that's mirror. Okay. This is wall. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay, that does not work. So, instead, let us grab and just do on the outside here then. That way you can keep it hidden from the players. I don't want them to be able to see the wall. And then we can actually, I guess, do top part here and then go down. Let's see. A little bit awkward to draw it on this diagonal, but there we go. Yeah, it works. Whoops, zooming, zooming, zooming is getting weird. Whoops, 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 whoops. What am I doing? Okay. Do not hold down control. Do not hold down control. There we go. So, whoops. That is that. Let's see. Hop back up the image layer and toss a door in here. Actually, let's toss some of these in really quick. And I did it again. Do not zoom in with the control button. Okay. Let us take you, rotate you. Okay. Now I forget if I where'd that go? Beam, 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 beam with torch, lantern. There we go. Okay, no, it doesn't. So I do have to control V. Cool. And if I control V, good. Good. Exactly what I want to see. This one's gonna be cool. We can find. Oh, come on! Don't snap! All right, cool. Nice. Control V. Control V no longer working. There we go. We do have the monk who just showed up last session rather, does not have dark vision unlike the rest of the party. So I don't mind these being either lightable or lit. I think probably lightable. I don't think it makes very much sense to have these lit when the players get in here, because nobody's supposed to be down here in theory. So that is where we're at. Oh, this is something that I wanted to mention. So when I hear myself talking about this, it's actually kind of fun just because it reminds me of Boylai Hobby Time. He has this Wild West world, and I think if I ever do another campaign for myself, like an actual campaign, I might set it in that kind of world, if not that world. Now, the biggest issue is that it is a steampunk world. So, and I don't have steampunk rule sets, but frankly, it's one of these things. If you've not watched Boylai Hobby Time, I highly recommend it. He does dioramas, and he has this world that he's been working on for a while now, and it is just frankly pretty cool. So, Control Z. I just want to put that out there as a recommendation, and just as a little side note that if I do a full campaign for Pathless Pod again, or I guess not again, I guess I haven't done any full campaigns on pathlesspod.com. I've done campaigns for our group before, but not specifically Pathless Pod, so like on the podcast. So anyway, point being, I just really love the world he's building, and it makes me want to do something in it. So, if you haven't checked them out, check them out, just because it is really fun stuff, in my opinion. Alright, now beams. These beams don't have anything on them, so I more or less don't have to worry about... Well, I guess I shouldn't put them on the diagonals, but for everything that's not diagonal, I don't have to worry about facing them, which is nice. So we can, and I think I will be spacing them basically in between the other ones, staggering them. That doesn't really make sense, does it? Okay, let's Control Z. In theory, the beams are framing out, right? Oh, I can't Control Z. Okay, I didn't screw anything up by Control Z, right? I forgot. For some reason, the image layer you can't Control Z on. It's weird. There's that. This is a slight angle, and therefore these are slightly off. That's okay. I'm not gonna cry about it. The interesting thing about potentially running another campaign would be if I decided to, because we don't have rules for steampunk, we don't have any steampunk systems that we actually play. In theory, I could use it as an excuse to put more work into Horizons. Horizons is a system, a RPG system that I was developing. One of those things, I'm going to be prejudiced towards it, but I did not want this one. I meant to do this. I'm going to be prejudiced towards it because it's my baby, but it basically does a lot of things that I think are better than D&D. Just for the record, I do prefer 3.5 to 5e. We are playing 5e right now, but given the choice, I would rather play 3.5 just because, frankly, the amount of power gain for levels is, in my opinion, a lot more satisfying. And furthermore, there's a lot more content, as far as I can tell. At least more content readily available at any rate. However, one of those things, I don't think my group will ever get back to it. But if we play Horizons, the biggest issue is that obviously I have to create content myself. Control-Z does not work. Because, it's something I've created. There is no splat books. So all abilities have to be created from scratch. One of those things, I don't mind my players making their abilities in that case. So that is definitely an option. That is definitely an option to basically outsource the creation of abilities that I can just subsume into the rule set, and B, not have to prepare before the stream. Let's see. Okay, so that is the first level. Second level, start on the second level. So let me hop on the DM notes really quick because I should write hidden passage DC. Let's see, DC. Excuse me if you heard that. Let's see. 5th edition. Let's see, it's going to be 3 proficiency. Can you take 10 in 5th edition? I don't even know because we haven't really done it, I don't think. So let's assume you can take 10. If you take 10, that's 13. 13 plus ability modifier, and that's it, basically. Actually, for some reason, I think the rogue has an additional bonus to search. Not search, but investigate. I think our rogue might have an additional bonus to it. Let's see. So if I make the DC, so making it a DC 20, it's one of these things. I kind of want to make it a DC 20 because it's not actually supposed to be easy to find. But I am really afraid that the players are just going to not find it. And the only way to progress in this situation is to find this one hidden passage. Alternatives for getting the players to find the passage if they fail their investigate check. Let's see. Other checks. Dungeoneering is Dungeoneering is no longer a skill. Roll 20. Shoot. Oh, there's this. Oh, can I click it? No. Okay, darn. Roll 25E. Let's see, skills. I was trying to get into compendium. That's what I was trying to do here. Was the compendium available on that other page I got to? Compendium. I didn't actually look for it. I probably should have. Okay, there's the compendium. Dungeons & Dragons. Is this not loading? I was just scrolling while I was waiting for it to load. Okay, so this is a way to get there otherwise. One of those things, I don't use Roll20 too much. We're actually playing on Mythic Tale right now, if you did miss that, if you did not hear me say that before. So, I was looking for skills. Not ability scores, although maybe they put skills under ability scores. Ah, they did. Athletics. Yeah, okay, here we go. It does look like they are underneath ability scores. Well, where is a character sheet? 5e character sheet. Where is just, what do you call it? There we go. Okay, yeah, okay. This was what I was a little confused about. One of those things, not being familiar enough with 5e, I was like, wait a second, is there not a skill for under Constitution? Like, Concentration used to be the Constitution skill. Concentration is now, I guess, just a Constitution save. If I recall correctly, it's been so long since I've needed to know that. And then also Strength. Strength only had Athletics listed, so I was a little bit confused there. Obviously, Strength used to be like jump, climb, swim. That all got obviously subsumed into Athletics, so that's why we don't have any more there. It just looks very empty to go through here and see nothing. So, point being, Investigation. Okay, so this is interesting. I was using Investigation as Perception because the difference here being, like, this kind of stuff, right? Watching out for ambushes, stuff like that. And this, candlelight under a secret door, right? So I was using Investigation for actual hidden items because Perception seems more like stuff that you might be able to spot, like, just may not be obvious, you know? So things that you don't really need to go digging for, you know? You don't need to uncover, let's say. But, obviously, so, for example, this is agreeing with me, for example, on when we were investigating the captain's room in Fort Vallis. This part right here, pouring through scrolls in search of hidden fragments of knowledge, that was definitely the correct use. But looking for trap doors, I actually don't really see it here because the closest we got is candlelight under a secret door. But that just means that there is something visible, clearly visible. It's not actually uncovering the trap door. So one of these things, I don't know actually. I mean, I'm sure, let's see. I'm sure if I open up traps, it's going to say perception check. Unfortunately. Again, it seems more like a investigate roll to me. Hey, what are we doing? I was just trying to... There we go. Traps. Traps. Traps, again, it seems more like an investigate roll to me. But I'm betting that this is going to say perception. Yeah, DC 15 perception. This is just a DC. The DC to spot it is 10. DC what? DC investigate? Am I right? Yeah, you see, like, this says wisdom perception, right? But none of the other pit traps say DC. Where'd it go? Oh goodness, don't do that. Heavy fingers, heavy fingers. Pits. All right, so anyway, you don't see perception here. This locking pit. There's a DC 20 strength save here. Identical to pit trap. To a hidden pit trap. Okay, so this is identical. Okay, and then this one is based off of either of these or any of these, which means that it uses whatever. But again, this one does not say what the DC is. Yes, I'm nitpicking. Yes, I have serious problems with 5e. We've talked about this before. DC to spot them is 15. Okay, see, this one is investigate. There you go. This one is investigate. That makes sense to me. Feeling justified now. Investigate. There we go. Okay, cool. So I'm feeling like there's perception. Why? So is it perception just because the trapdoor is obvious? The pressure plate is potentially obvious, but is the pressure plate more obvious than... Okay, so this is because you need to look inside of the mechanism and notice that it's weird. Where's this other one? Okay, see, can deduce the presence of pressure plates, but that's the same exact wording that we have here. Where's the rolling sphere? Oh no, we are in rolling sphere. Wisdom perception. Spot the trapdoor and the pressure plate. Huh. Weird. So this gives you the option of perception or investigate here, but as far as I saw, unless I totally missed it, you didn't get the same over here on the poison darts. So you didn't get the option to see that, there's holes in the wall here. You don't get the option to see that there are holes in the walls with a perception check, or see the pressure plate with a perception check, as opposed to deducing the presence of the pressure plate with the investigate check. Again, all right, you know what? I'm nitpicking too much. We're going back to designing. Close. I'll keep the compendium open for right now. Anyway, so those are 15s. Those are DC 15s is what we saw a lot of over there. I'll go ahead and drop this to 15. Okay, it's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. I guess I may as well just keep it as perception or investigation. I guess either one is fine. All right, now on to level 2. All right, level 2. So this is kind of windy. I wanted to make this a little bit windy, and it's not necessarily rough because one of those things. You know what? Do I want to? I was thinking maybe I wanted to drop some. You see how this is a Y here? So in theory, there's something in the way here. Otherwise, they would have dug straight. In theory, part of me wonders whether or not I want to dress this up right now with something. So if I do something like this, this might be pretty interesting visually speaking. We are on the layer image. Trying to fit this guy in here. All right, cool. Let's bring you, or I guess send you back. Where's my send back button? I know there's a send back button somewhere around here, right? Huh. Let's see. I could have swore there was a send back button. I see the clipped layer. Let's see. Hover. Blend, layer autopsy. Huh. Where did that go? I could have swore there was a... Oh, that's right. I think it was a hotkey, actually. Usage guide. Let's see. I think it might have been a hotkey. Let's see. Image layer. Up and down arrows. There we go. one of those things would help if there was something on the GUI to do it without the keyboard, but whatever. Not that important. So I think this is just a cute little spicing up of the scenery here. Why can't... Oh, that's right. You're not allowed to drag and drop. That is why. Let's just fill in this gap is all I'm trying to do. Yeah, put it there. Put this guy here. And knowing my characters, they are going to spend the next 30 minutes of the campaign, at least 30 minutes of the campaign, trying to collect some of these gems, which were just meant to be cute and ornamental. But they will certainly serve as a distraction. Which means that if I do not get this whole entire thing done being designed, that will save me will mean that I won't look as bad. There we go. Because they won't know. Because they will spend all session trying to dig out those gems. Cool. Fun. I'll probably come back over here a little bit later and throw in some skeletons, okay? I just want to we only have just so much time today. So I want to try to get as much done. Now, as I was saying, point being, is that this is supposed to be relatively, just whatever right here, It's obviously a little bit, worn, a little bit manufactured. What am I looking for? Man-made. But it's rough, it's relatively rough. The next floor, because it's going to be the lab floor, I wanted to have clearly straight hallways, interconnected hallways, etc. Make it look like a compound. So let's see. I will come in here, and is there a button I can use to make sure I'm going straight? No? Okay. We'll just zoom in, I guess. Maybe a little bit longer. I am trying to go straight. Alt kind of feels like it does it, except for it totally did not. There we go. Control then. Control basically did it. Come on. There we go. All right, cool. So, these have round corners. Can I change the cap? Join, round, bevel, miter. So it's still round on the ends, but I saw that cap round. There we go. Let me control Z then. And cap round is off. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Again, I want this to be clearly industrial. Maybe make this a bit longer. Come straight up. Attempt to stay straight up. There we go. The only thing I'm looking at, so it says radius 1. So let's see. I'm a little concerned. 10-foot hallways, huh? So 10-foot hallways is almost acceptable for an underground compound because you need, so in the fact that you got to dig out 10-foot hallways, right? That is not really acceptable. You really don't want to be spending that much effort. You want to spend as little possible as effort digging out your compound. But in terms of logistics, like people getting by each other with large equipment and whatnot, it's kind of important that these hallways, or maybe just these hallways around the edges. Okay, sure. I can live with that. So I'll have smaller hallways in between, but the main framing hallways, like the main paths, we will leave at 1 then, assuming this radius is what I'm thinking it is. So let us do that. There we go. And I'm going to toss a couple rooms in here, in there. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this back around again. And actually, let me do this. Just stretch these guys out so that they're an even number. Cool. All right. And do I want to connect that? Let's connect them with the small hallway. We will, whoops, that button. Drop this down to 0.5. And connect them with the small hallway. Let's see. I'm going to have a hallway here. I should not put it on the intersection because the players won't like that. There we go. There and here, I guess. I guess this makes sense here. And then we can have closets or smaller rooms. One of the two. So one of these deals, back to maps and walls. Actually, okay. So I can do something like this, right? Ah, yes, good. It did leave a wall there. Good. Okay. And then I will leave spaces in between here. And so I wanted it pretty symmetrical. So what is going on here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't mind that one being 5. This one is 5. So actually, we can make them all 5, I guess. So we bring this guy out by 1. Get him to 5. Let's try this to get rid of that inner wall. There we go. And then we will erase this guy like this, I believe is, let's see, like that. Will this get me the correct shape I want? Let's see. Not doing math in my head. So I believe, yeah, actually gotta click that. That's right, in order to get the proper outlines. Okay, cool. So that's 3 5 by 5 rooms. Cool. Good. Making progress. Now this is, I think, going to be one large lab in the middle here. There we go. And then I am thinking small closet spaces over here. Maybe just 5 foot between. Five foot. Yeah, okay, so I'm thinking as I'm doing this, okay? Because, alright, so 10 by 10 is actually a little big. It occurred to me as I was doing this that what they could find down here, I was talking about what were they going to find down here. What if these are all cells? Little 5 foot square cells, holding cells. And they find somebody who tells them that they basically were passed through. They were trafficked through the guild, and that is their lead that they need. That is a good idea. Okay, cool. And frankly, we probably don't need this many. So what I'm going to do is, whoops, Control Z. How did I end up with? There we go. No, stop. Stop destroying that wall. I am still on square, right? Ooh, why are you doing that? That doesn't make no sense. Let's see. That. No, Control Z. What if I do this and then this? Huh. Fascinating. All right, let us erase this guy then. There we go, and we'll try to put that guy back in. So this is going to be, there we go. All right, cool. So I'm going to just make this the cell blocks, actually, because frankly, that would be a crap ton to have if I filled this whole entire area in. So I'm going to do that. We are going to grab this. There we go. And then I'll toss the door in here, obviously. And I'm not going to bother drawing doors on all these guys. One of those things players understand. Boo, 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 boo. So we will just have, again, what I was talking about before, storage closets over here for various goods. Cool. Do we want anything here? No, we'll just leave that as dead space. Again, underground facility, you need to clear stuff out. So rather than clear out the rubble there, we'll just go ahead and leave it as dirt. Let's toss some doors in really quick. Door. That's only half a door. That's interesting though, because it's a closet. Yeah, you know what? Let's put half doors on these closets. That's interesting. That's a full door. Let's see. Okay, fine. I was trying to decide whether I wanted to do door in the middle or a half door. I kind of like the idea of this half door. The players aren't actually going to be doing anything in here. Like, there's not going to be any encounters as far as I can foresee unless something happens in these closets. So it's more just flavor that there are very small doors. And we're going to put big doors in here. So let's see. This is slightly off center, as you can see. I'm not too concerned about it, but it should be set. The door should be centered on the room, though. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, so it would have to be odd. So I'm going to leave it there. Because we're doing it. So actually. Maybe I put a, yeah. All right, we're good. 1, it makes it actually even. 2, it's much more impressive to have a 15-foot wide barn style door, space shuttle type doors, closing doors, sliding doors. So that's what we're going to put on here. So big old intimidating sliding doors. Cool. And let us see. Down here. So offices. I think offices is what we're going to have down here. I'm going to put the doors on this side. So it is. It's not that much more convenient. Okay. I was going to say. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Right now, this hallway doesn't feel like it's doing anything. So this hallway over here obviously gives you access to this stuff. This hallway, you're better off just going this way if you're trying to get to the cell block, right? So this hallway feels like a little bit of a waste of space, but I could just describe it as a what do you call it? A maintenance tunnel. I could describe it as a maintenance tunnel. Just say it's not particularly well fashioned, and the entrance to the hallway is not, very well pronounced. And there's like pipes running through the, exposed on the ceiling, So this would be in theory, a maintenance passageway for. And potentially there could be buckets and stuff loaded up in there. Actually, in that case, let's go ahead and toss a wall in here. Or maybe in these dead spaces. Yeah, let's go ahead and put in these dead spaces. So little cleaning closets then in that case. And actually, I will draw wall back in here. And we'll have just single rooms here. Cool. There we go. That resolves that question. And now we got the office doors. Office doors, I think, will just be single doors dead center. I think that makes sense. And one thing I was going to say earlier before I got sidetracked on what the heck is all this other stuff in here. I'm going to put them on the outside here, because I'm going to put Big Boss Room down here. That way the office rooms for the important people are facing the Big Boss Room. And Big Boss Room will be, I guess, about yay big. 10 by 10. For some reason, it is only just now, I am only just now realizing that it tells me what the size of my square is. That is, So there's 10. We're a little off center, it looks like, but I will cry about it later. Alright, there we go. 10 by 10. And this will have a double door. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that lines up. So it's a matter of... That's funny because these are 5 apiece, right? 5, 2. So, okay, so 15 though. 3 times 5 is 15, so that is an odd number. I was going to say, because we spaced them out evenly. But yeah, 5 times 3 is 15, which is an odd number. Cool. Alrighty. Doing pretty good on progress, I gotta say. Let's see. Let us see. So remember how I was talking about undead? This so far is the only undead spot we've had. I am thinking of putting another secret passageway in the rubble and then having a whole nother dungeon that is just an undead dungeon that was totally unintended. That's what I'm thinking. Back to the red herring. The red herring effect. Okay. That is an interesting idea. Because frankly, once they get over here, this is fairly straightforward. It's just going to be a matter of fighting through all the guards, right? So, do I need to... I guess I put an escape passage in here. Is the last thing I need to do. Actually, let's do path again. And hopefully this is still square. It is. Or at least it appears to be. There we go. And from this side down. Actually, Should be the other way. No, okay. So here's the deal. In my mind, the fatter end is the higher end. So in my mind, that would be going up. That would be staircase going up, even though visually speaking, that's the side you're seeing better in theory. And then this is, disappearing into the darkness in theory. But that is how my mind works. My mind works that the smaller end is the lower end. So that is how I'm going to denote it on the map. Now. One of these things, decorating the map. Bum 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 bum. Wow wow wow. Yeah, maybe I go ahead and draw this in first. It's one of these deals where I kind of really do want this. Why can I not have a square edge? Huh. Alright, I guess I live with this. We'll do that. And we should go back to round edges. Round edges. Whoops, that's rough. You know what? Yeah, keep rough. I'll take it. So this is going to go off to a room. Whoa. Dude. Radical. So that's the roughness going in there. You know what? I don't actually like rough. I take it back. I don't actually like the rough feature. Alright, try this again. There is that. Toss a room in here. There we go. Here is this guy. Boo boo boo. Very logical. There we go. Toss a room in this guy. Off center room. Keep some variety in the gameplay. Let's do a straight up, Control Z. Straight up control, stop it. A straight up square room right off the edge here. And I guess I gotta put that wall back in. That's my walls right there. Boom, boom. Yeah, okay. It's one of those things. We're kind of half a square here, but I'll double down by putting the door dead center. And let me come back over here and change this guy up. Just because back to players and, oh, is that a square I can stand in? There we go. And gotta fix this guy now. So I will erase the, yeah, I guess I'll erase this whole entire edge. And then come back in and draw this. There we go. Edge is a little ugly right there. I'll cry about it. And fix the top one. I guess I could probably fix the bottom one, I'm guessing, by doing this. There we go. Awesome. We're learning how to use this. That's great. This guy. This guy. Let us... Alright, good. We're still on erase. We'll just redraw this guy altogether. To there, and then make sure we're going, so we can do diagonals. It's one of those things I'm fine with doing diagonals. It's just going to have to be a, a clear square diagonal. One of those things, this hallway probably even would be better suited something like this for the players. One of those things, diagonals on squares is difficult. Somewhat confusing. I let my players complain about it. Toss that room back in. I think that's slightly smaller than we had it. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa there, fella. Wow. Why are you doing that? That is fascinating. Redo. How about we come to an understanding here, bud? There we go. Cool. Do not zoom with the control button. And this will be my hallway for random unintended boss battle. And I'm going to toss a treasure room over here. And another treasure room over here. And then, actually, we're going to do this. There we go. Fix this guy. Please, try to fix this guy. Cool. All right. And then we'll have double doors into boss battle room. And hopefully the players get distracted and end up down here instead of in, whoops, Control Z, instead of in the actual lab. That way I get extra content out of them. Also, for the record, because this has not been something that I've mentioned, we haven't been recording. So the first session I did not record, even though, frankly, it was a very fun role-playing session. The first session since we started playing this campaign again, at any rate. Again, this is the pickup campaign, so this is the campaign that I've been running when nobody else is DMing. So, point being is I did not record the first session because we have a brand new player, and I didn't want to, one of those things. They're brand new. I don't want them, feeling conscientious or anything like that. The second and third session in Fort Vallis, I did not record. Just because we did not record we don't have anything recorded, frankly. Evidently, I thought we did record the first couple of sessions in, which was, shoot, how am I forgetting this already? I only made one previous adventure in this pickup session, and that was, that's right. That was a dungeon compound. It was kobolds. The kobolds had a section, and then the orcs had a section, and they were basically sharing more or less. The kobolds were more or less just acting as a front, so anybody who came in had to deal with the kobolds, and then it's just kobolds down here, and then the orcs were working in the back, and the orcs were basically man labor for moving, for a storing and b then transporting out goods, potions, etc. So that's what the first one was. Why did I bring that up? I brought it up because we did not record that one. I thought we did. I thought we had actually recorded that one, but we did not, unfortunately. So since we didn't record that, I didn't bother recording session 2 or 3 of Fort Vallis. I'm thinking about recording this one. So, in case you have not been listening to pathlesspod.com podcast, look forward. I'm thinking we will be recording moving forwards. So, I think that's enough for this part of the dungeon. So we can now go on to DM notes, I think. And we are going to have, let's see. Let's throw some ghouls in here. And one of these things, back to, I'm going to have to figure out how exactly I'm going to make these encounters, because the players are a bit higher level at this point. Obviously, they weren't high enough level for the, but for the Aboleth. But they are higher level than ghouls. So I'll have to see what we want to do about this. This room over here. I'm thinking about them entering through this way right here. And DC 15 perception. I guess just DC 16. Let's see really quick. Hidden passage. Okay. I haven't done any traps yet, for the record. But I'm thinking about leaving this empty right here, because they come through here. This is a door, and therefore they're most likely to go to the door first. So let this be empty, with the exception of maybe some caskets, some crypts, let's say, some stone burial places. So maybe fill that with that, but otherwise have nothing in there. And then they start investigating everything else, and then they start running into monsters. This again will be minor storehouses, so I'll give them some small magic items here. Small treasure. Add. Small treasure. Add. It's funny, the images will go ahead and keep size and shape. Oh, well, I guess I'm hitting add again. I'm not hitting Control V. Okay, never mind. I take it back. I take back what I was about to say. And then the big boss. So I want a horde of zombies over here. Horde o zombies. There we go. And then I also want something like a lich or something like that. Lich or something. It's funny, I actually cannot remember how to spell lich. Okay, it is without the T. I was sitting there like, I don't think that T is actually in there. Stop. There we go. Okay. Okay, so that gets that filled out. Now, DM notes for the underground, we do not have traps just yet. I guess I will do, you know what? Let's come back over here. So it does seem, I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe it's because I was just zoomed so far out. I was going to say I might actually starting to lag now. Kind of feels like it. But, let's see. Dart traps. Add. I'm going to want that over here. And I think I also want that over here as well. And I'll figure out what exactly that entails later on. So now we have some traps there. Let's see. All right, let's trap some treasure chest. Trapped chests. click space over add. And we will do that only in the second room. Again, I like to screw with my players. So the first room, there will be no traps. Second room, there will be. And let's see. Do we want any more traps? I guess I'm content with that. Okay. Scroll out. And let us get working on this guy really quick. Let's see. I guess security guards. Security guards there. Oh crap. Where did I just paste that at? Yeah, no. There it is. Yeah, we are definitely lagging due to the amount of objects on the screen right now. One of these deals where we wouldn't have this much if I had split this into different files or different layers. Now again, the reason, just for the record, that I'm not doing different layers is because when you export it using the layers export, it ends up being a mess. So we're done. That is why we're in our current situation, and now I have learned one of those things, learned a little bit every day, a little smarter every day. I have now learned that I probably am best off using different files at this point. Captive with info. I can't really draw an arrow, so I'm just gonna leave that right there. These are just random storage closets. Those are maintenance. I guess I'll add a note for maintenance hallway here so I don't forget. Add. All right, now the center place. Laboratory. And we are going to have non-combatant scientists who unleash super soldiers. And I don't think I can add a new line here, so good luck, I guess. Maybe I should have split that text into 2 lines manually, since I can't add a new line character. It's big enough to read. For the offices, I want to have some high-level characters in here. As 1v8, or yeah, 1v8. 1v, how many player characters do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1v5 encounters. I guess I'll turn this diagonal so I can actually make it large enough to read. Oh no, if I hit delete, it should get rid of it. I hit Control V again without hitting Control C first in order to copy this. And then down here, it's one of those things, I want the players to only get a glimpse of the boss. and have to fight elite guards down here in the boss room. No, I'll just make them elite guards. I won't make them super soldier guards. Let us see. So I want a big throne right here is what I'm thinking. A big throne right here. So I'm thinking I actually should move this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Erase. Stop. No. Don't do that. There we go. And so we're going to have a throne here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. I was going to say, I could have swore we had it as 10. The 2 is obviously centered. I only want 1. I guess I can just put the throne split between 2 squares. I guess that's fine. All right. So this exit way, I'm just going to... I guess I'll just... It's one of those things. It's not really part of combat, so it really shouldn't matter. So I will split it between 2 squares here. There we go. And now we should be on to doodads. So, let's go back over there. Wait for the computer to catch up because we are lagging. Boop, 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 boo. There we go. So, like I said, I wanted bones. So I guess just a couple out on the floor is fine. Like, originally it was... That's a little bit more than a couple. Let's back up a little bit. I can't control Z. That's right. Delete, 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 delete. Let me leave that and just turn him. Delete that. I wanted to grab another skeleton type. There we go. Alright, cool. So I just wanted a couple there, and then I wanted... caskets, which is one of those things. This is a mine, so let's see if we can't find caskets somewhere. Oh, there's bar ends. Well, I wasn't using black and white for the for the guild. Back to the guild, I handcrafted that bar, the table, the counter, whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Something. Part of me almost wants to use this chest right here as a casket. This bar end might work as a casket. I'm just getting my options because one of these things, chances are I'm not going to be able to find an actual casket. Sword grate. Sword grate is interesting. Let us see. Boo, 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 boo. Oh, boy. So, I was leaning over in my chair for a while there. Not great. Caskets. So this door too, honestly, could be a casket. Boo, boo, boo. The question is, do I like it better than the other one? Okay, that was this section. Grassy Road, as I recall, did not have anything interesting in it. At least for our purposes. This does not appear to have anything. Alright, something in mansion furniture that might look like a casket. Aside from tables. Doesn't really look like it. Castle walls. Boo, 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 boo. Stone stairs. It's one of those things. Stone does look like a stone casket, which is the kind that I'm throwing in here, intended to throw in here at any rate. Boo, 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 boo. I know I'm going kind of quick through this one just because I'm pretty sure a lot of this is reused from mansion furniture. Okay, and that's uploads. So let's back to this guy, and do I want to use bar end is the first question. I don't think so. Did I see something else in here otherwise? You know what? Ornamentally. So in theory, it could be ornamental. And no, this is a large burial place, so probably not. Never mind. So let's look at this guy. And this guy had tables, right? Either table or door. I can't recall which one is. Sword grade, I do recall. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. It was the locked, the doors. Yeah, that's fine. I can use this. Alright, I guess I just put them centered on each square. And we'll put walkways between. Whoops, I can't hit Control Z, so that's just gonna have to wait. That will have to wait. Okay, and then I wanted another row in between. Oh goodness, we are totally flubbing. Another 2 rows in between is actually what I meant. Maybe I want to... Yeah, we probably want walkways every intermittently. So I'll probably skip right there. And then leave off the end. Oh, don't do that. I wanted to drag you. Let's see. That guy can go to the end because we're not walking through there. We're going to delete that guy. Oh, drag this guy down. I actually meant to make sure there was a space there is what I was trying to do there. And then these guys were foobarred right here. Let's drag this skeleton out here, that skeleton out here so he's easier to see. That skeleton can be half underneath. Same thing with that guy, that's fine. Honestly, some of them can be half underneath. That way it's a little bit, you know, less obvious. Okay, so there is that room furnished. Boo, 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 boo. Let us get some chests and crates then. And we will grab those out of the nicer looking stuff. That's a barrel. I want chests and crates. All right, there's some crates. Where are chests? No chests? Okay. No chests in mansions. So let's get to castle. Castle probably has traits. Ooh, there's crate stacks. Cool. And we can toss some of these guys over here. Chest. Classic. Yeah, classic. I'm gonna rearrange the stuff in here, so let's see. If I zoom in on this, can you tell which side is front on these chests? Yes, you can. They have a little lock. So let us spin you guys right around. And then let's get to rearranging here. Maybe performance will improve if I turn off background. So let me drag some of these guys over here is what I was going to do, since I have these guys here, and toss these guys in the back. And same thing over here. I wanted to toss these guys in the back behind the crate boxes. And then I will, just to make it a little bit more obvious for my players, I will go ahead and not draw the fog of war, or, you know, keep the fog of war up, rather, towards the back so they want to investigate. All right. Yeah, I can't turn that off. So, what do we want? I guess I'm going to put some rugs in here. Whoops. Rugs. Where's my rugs at? Ooh, tapestries. Yeah. Let's get ourselves some tapestries. Cool. And there's rugs. Let's stretch that out. Stretch that bad boy out. And if I stretch it this way, does it really look that bad? Doesn't look that bad round about there, so we'll center that like that. Cool. Let's get a fireplace in. Well, that's a stove. Do we have an actual? Yeah, we do have an actual fireplace. And this will not be lit, but it's one of those things. It's the whatchamacallit of the matter. It's for decoration. It adds character. So this was somewhere important at some point. So we need a throne. I guess that's under chair. Great. Boo, 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 boo. Chest, chair, roan. There we go. Chair, roan. Chair throne. And put it dead center. Good deal. So there is that. I actually kind of think that I want like some debris and crap around here. Just to give the impression that the place has been misused. Maybe I hit Control Z again. I wish Control Z did what I wanted it to do, which is get rid of the most recent image. Unfortunately, it does not. So, one of the things is getting late, so I'm kind of interested as to whether or not back to I turned down my volume on my mic. Not directly on my mic, in the program, but I'm curious whether or not it's gotten harder to hear me. Let's see. Do we have... It's funny how this is all labeled clutter. I am looking for sconces, is what I'm looking for. Latrine. Sconces. Any sconces? Let us see. I do not see any sconces. Nope, no sconces. Okay, let's try mansion furniture. Boo, 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 boo. Boom, 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 boom. Ooh, picture frame. Let's drop this picture frame on either side. I'll spin them in just a minute. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, suits of armor, man. Suits of armor. Really sprucing this place up. So sconces, right? Yeah, no sconce. Huh. No sconces. What am I gonna do for sconces? Do 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 do. Part of me wants to grab one of these random round things and just call it a sconce. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Let's... Nah, never mind. I take it back. Boom, 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 boom. Do, 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 do. Alright, wait, does that say sarcophagus? How did I... Wow, I went through this so quickly, I totally missed it. Oh, I'm kicking myself now. Okay, guess what? Sarcophagi are going in over here. I wasn't sure what I was going to put in over here. I have just determined. We got ourselves some sarcophagi. We are putting sarcophagi in. And it keeps on scrolling every time I try to pan. Boom, 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 boom. And then we'll put the other guys, the square ones, over here. I'm going to spin these guys. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Boo boo doo boo. Yep, and there is our lag, even though we turned off the background. We now have enough doodads that were causing problems. Boom, 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 boom. Let's move you here. Well, let's turn this. I wanted them flanking the picture, I figured. Drag this slightly into the room. Alt move. I guess you can be... Nah. Alright, I guess that's where we're at right now. Don't particularly like the placement of it, but we will live with what we got. As long as it's symmetrical, it's less of a problem. Come on. I'm holding down Alt. Let me do what I'm alting. Close enough. And let me get this. I'm not holding down Alt though now. So you can snap. Yeah, now you're snapping now that I'm not holding down Alt. Hitting Alt does not toggle. So I'm kind of fascinated that it's not snapping now. That is very weird. Okay. And yeah, the barrels again are just kind of whatever. Just to show that it got a bit abused. And this room right here. We were coming through here for sconces, but as obviously I do not see any. So this room, what is going to be in this room over here? Let's see. Okay, one thing to mention from a world building perspective. I was just looking at these beds, wondering whether or not I should put beds in here. I'm actually going to say no. I'm going to say that originally all of this was just extra burial space for maybe more regal people before the tunnel collapsed. And this is actually set up because the Lich took over here. In which case, since the Lich is undead and everybody else is undead, there's no reason for there to be beds down here. So I will not be putting any beds down here because it does not make sense from the story perspective. So, what do we want to put in this area right here then? Maybe wood. I mean, I guess wood pile is always useful to have. We're in castle walls right now just because I wanted to run through. I was kind of curious if there was a sconce in here because that would make sense for a castle wall, but I'm not seeing it. We have arrow slits. That's useful. Wood pile. Where was wood pile? I recall finding the wood pile. Like, I missed it the first time, if I recall correctly. And then I found it afterwards when we were doing the guild. Castle furniture. Boo, 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 boo. Not on a clutter. Wood pile. Firewood pile. Nah. Wood pile does not make sense. Again, people aren't living down here. The fireplace. The fireplace does not make sense then, right? Okay. So, I might have just gotten too close to the mic there. Sorry. As I was leaning in, covering my face, rubbing my eyes. Okay. So, I can justify this room because prior to the Lich as a ceremonial room, and therefore I can justify the fireplace. I can also justify the barrels and stuff, I guess. Do I justify? Well, frankly, woodpile I think probably should be in these places close to the ceremonial room. I guess they make more sense over here and not so much over here. So what does make sense over there then? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put wardrobe. We'll use this, and then I'll grab also a couple of bookshelves. So this would be okay, I'm between two minds here. Okay, no. Yeah, okay. We're gonna go with my first idea. This is a mortuary. I believe that's the correct word I'm looking for. Mortuary. I guess not necessarily mortuary. A place where they prepare the bodies. Dictionary or definition, I guess. Definition. Place where bodies are prepared for burial. Not cemetery. No, that is definitely not. A funeral home. Oh, mortuary came up. Maybe I was right. Okay. So mortuary, yeah, a place, especially a funeral home, where dead bodies are kept before burial or cremation. Okay, so mortuary was actually more or less the correct word. Let's see. Morgue also works. Is there a is there a synonym for morgue that would better represent the area where, I mean, dead room keeps on coming up, but where, the actual like preparations happen. What's dead room? Fine, I'll click dead room. Nope, not it. Okay, I'm happy enough. Anyway, the whole entire point was this is the place where they, embalm the bodies, etc., etc., etc. That was my idea. So, can we find a table that is like silver colored? Oh, let's put a couple grates in here too. Cool. Grates are a nice touch. I like it. Okay. So this is not what it's supposed to be, but it fits my purposes. So, let's see. So 5 foot wide is reasonable. This is 7.5 foot tall right now. Yeah, you know what? 7.5 foot tall is probably okay, acceptable. Let's see. Do I have any counters? Counters. Maybe we use that. And so one of these things back to repurposing things that are not supposed to be what they're actually being used for. I'm a fan of. And I'm just going to drop this all the way back so you can't tell. Cool, that's a counter. And I can put a tea set up here because it's not actually a tea set. And a bowl. Attempt to put a bowl. The bowl is not coming. Where's the bowl at? There we go. A couple bowls. That's fine. And let's see if we can find a side table type thing. Chests, chairs, bench. Bench is good. I'll take a bench. And a bench shelf. Actually, you know what? I won't do the bench shelf because I want the bookshelf. I do want at least one bookshelf in here. But, let's see. Do we have anything that looks like a mortar and pestle? Mortar and... Oh, there we go. That's fine. Writing utensils. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now we just need the bookshelf. Bookshelf. Do not see it. Mansion furniture. There we go. There's bookshelves. I only really wanted one. So am I happy with the width of this? I guess I am. Can we find a sink is the next question. I would like a wash basin or a sink. I mean, I'll take it. I'll run through really quick just to check, but I will take that as a basin. Put the base next to it too, for good measure. Okay. I am satisfied. Okay. I gotta tell you, this place is a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be. I am very happy that I decided to add that in. Alright, now over to here. Alright. Actually, you know what? One of those things, since I'm moving on to a new area, I've only really wanted to go 10 more minutes max. So, yeah, alright, I think I will stop here. Let's hit the save button really quick and hopefully not lose anything. Download save file. Okay. It's one of those things. I'll leave this up. I'm not going to bother closing it just yet. But at least I have the download file. So, again, I will, I guess, try to find time tomorrow to hop back on. And otherwise, I might just work on it. If I don't think I'm going to have time tomorrow, I might try to squeeze some off-stream time in working on it. So I will squeeze. So basically, I should have an hour or so in between work and dinner, at which point I get busy. So you should expect, if I do stream tomorrow night before D&D, to at least see this area fleshed out. And then my problem is finding time to get the monsters in, which will be the stream for next stream. And I'm really going to have to, again, I assume I'm going to have to bang that out super quick. Worst case scenario, I believe, would be 8 p.m. I get streaming, and then 8:45 is D&D. So that's 45 minutes to populate this with monsters, which is not great. Monsters and the traps. I haven't technically done the traps yet. So again, not great. Beyond that, best case scenario is 7 o'clock. I start streaming at 7 o'clock, and then that's an hour and 45 minutes to get the monsters in. The biggest problem with the monsters is these guys right here, these elite guards, security guards, high-level characters, etc. Getting stack blocks up for those guys is going to be the more difficult part. The random undead monsters over on the other side, I probably can just pick whatever, and it probably won't be that big of an issue. So that probably is not that big of a deal, but this area over here, probably going to be a problem. So one of those things, in that case, I will amend what I was saying earlier, and I will probably work on break at finding stuff so to save myself time. Because again, we are up against the clock because all of a sudden it's Thursday, and I probably should have started this on Wednesday. So that's where we're at right now. Otherwise, if you did not watch our the fume extractor video, which I just did prior to this stream, the outro for that basically outlined the fact that I have been working full-time, all my extra time that I have to work on projects has been devoted to doing the code for the coiler decoiler. And the thing that I said I was going to go overboard on, even though I probably shouldn't, was going to be a menu class, my own menu class system. but I decided that I do not know enough C in order to properly implement pointers to functions inside of class objects as class attributes. So, since I had such a difficult time figuring that one out, because again, do not program in C, I ended up abandoning that after basically 2 days of trying, 2 days worth, not even 2 days worth. So basically one of those things. I had maybe 2 hours over 2 days, 2 hours and 2 hours for a total of 4 hours of reading a whole bunch of Stack Overflow and tutorials and etc. And I still couldn't quite get it hammered down. So I really quick switched gears and banged out as much of the code as I could, which is about 90% of the code. I believe about 90% of the actual functional code. So I just have like one more function that actually does something in the program, and then I just have to add strings in, a bunch of strings for program menus and whatnot. And at that point, then I've got to actually upload it and start debugging, because let's face it, things are not going to work correctly the first time out. So one of those things, that is where that project is at. I have done a quick fit test on the actual physical decoiler itself. I have minor problems with that will be fixed easily enough. The Stream Deck, I dry fitted the swivel mechanism, and that does fit. It's one of those things. It was going to fit. There was no way it was going to fail. That was the whole entire point of us bailing off of the previous design onto this much simpler design, was that it was not going to fail. And as expected, it was not going to fail. However, in order to reuse my PCB that I built for the buttons, for the top set of buttons, I will have to redesign the bottom half of that case, and I'm going to have to try to fit washers and stuff onto the bottom of the PCB, which is going to be difficult because obviously the PCB conducts electricity, and washers are, well, at least metal washers are metal. So I might have to print washers in order to keep it from falling through, because the holes to mount it are not in the same place anymore because we've changed the shape of it. So again, I covered that stuff in a little bit more detail on the fume extractor at the end of the fume extractor stream. But that is the basic rundown for those things. And let's see. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else at this point, because again, we were trying to get that stuff polished away before we messed with anything else, because that stuff is projects that have been sitting around and need to get finished up. Once we get the Stream Deck done, then I will go ahead and use the stream animation to replace that one. And when we get the coiler uncoiler done, then I will replace the mini CNC with that one. And in the meantime, I will attempt to continue to bring small projects along the way to fill in the gaps, so that we're not just doing major project updates, but still getting new stuff filtered in during the course of the week, ideally. So that is where we're at. Otherwise, it is Thursday, so we're almost back to the weekend. Crazy enough. I mean, I don't know where the rest of my week went. I do know that not obviously, I guess to you, but to me, it's pretty obvious that I spent a whole lot of time doing the programming for the coiler decoiler, which again was supposed to be the simple coiler decoiler, and I've obviously went slightly less than simple on that one, but that's okay. It's going to turn out good. There are more modifications I actually want to make to the coiler decoiler prior to calling it complete, but those will wait until we actually have it running first, and then I will add on after that point. And yes, that will be I will go back to the mini CNC while I do those add-ons, because those add-ons in my mind count as a new project. So yep, that is my good old 20-minute outro. Technically speaking, we've only hit about 10 minutes now. I mean, more like 8, but who's counting? Nobody's counting, because it's a 20-minute outro. So if you have been hanging out, thank you for hanging out and watching. And as always, I hope you have a great and wonderful day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at in the world, and I will catch you next time.